Hey everybody, I am bringing Mimi back today. Let me just check here. And one of us, meaning me, forgot to save our messed up waiting for Mimi. So we forgot to save it and we really wanted to save our chat. So we're bringing Mimi back and she should come in a second. And we're going to talk about her beautiful kitchen renovation and a little bit about my dining room. There she is. Hi, Mimi. Welcome back again.
Back again, girl.
Back again. Together
what
forever.
Are you drinking tonight?
Cheers. I am still on last night's bottle of wine, to be honest. So it's this Italian one that came with my pizza last night.
You order pizza and wine just automatically comes?
It did actually. They know me really well at the pizza place. So cheers.
God,
what
amazing.
Are you drinking? Margarita? Tequila.
Tequila and soda.
And I love the surprise of your extra little space, but let's go back through your kitchen because I feel like you should brag about that backsplash one more time.
Okay. So we renovated we bought a condo at the end of February, right before COVID hit. Steve went away on a weekend vacation, the weekend that we got the keys. And while he was away, I gutted the house.
Did you tell him you were going to do that, or you just like gutted it and he came back? He's like, so.
Yeah, pretty much that. So I did post another before of what our kitchen used to look like.
Right.
And we opened it right up. But this here used to be, when you walk through the front door, mirrored glass sliding doors and then a closet.
Okay.
So we removed the closet and extended the kitchen like over 2 feet. So like a whole counter space larger, which made a big difference in just opening it up. And then we took out all the supporting beams that we could, but who knew in one tiny little kitchen there'd be 2 supporting walls.
Yeah. Is this the door, like where the closet was, is that the door you normally come in and out of, or do you actually come in and out of a different door?
Yeah, we have a garage downstairs.
Right. Okay.
So we come up that way.
Yeah.
So this is where guests come in and we just have some hooks and a little shoe closet there.
I like that way of dealing with the corner cabinet.
Yeah. So we have down below, we have the gray laminate, just flat stock. And then up above, we have the matching, but in the white. And so you'll notice up top, there's no handles. So what we've done to keep it really clean is we just have, it's actually, it's really cool. It serves as 2 different purposes. It serves as a little valance to hide the under cabinet lighting. But then also it's serves so you don't have to have a handle there.
So it's actually, I didn't realize this before, it's actually the whole door is slightly lower than the...
Yeah, it's a little bit longer.
Oh. The reason I like that is because when I'm flying around the kitchen, I don't need to have to find the little pull. I just want to grab like...
Yeah, you just pull from behind.
That's perfect.
Super convenient. And then down below, we have, of course, I love the little bling in the kitchen and tying in the color scheme and a little jewelry for your cabinets. Yeah. So we pulled in the black down there. Yeah.
And the backsplash, you said, came in 2 different colors and then you just mixed and matched them, right?
So the backsplash is from Centenny Tile in Burnaby, and it came in gray and it came in white, but it was pretty much a passion project for me because what I did was separated the darker grays to the lighter grays, and then same with the whites, there was like a little bit of more of a beige so that we have an ombre look going darker to lighter, and we're fading from the gray right up into the white.
And that's you sitting there with every single tile, making sure that it like
I laid it out on the ground before.
Yeah.
That we had little piles of the darkest gray and little piles of it was definitely an effort. But you know, it's those things that make your kitchen a little bit more special, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a couple of my favorite things in here is this part. So someone was just asking how they joined the Insta Live.
Oh, they should be able to just click on it.
So instead of having two cabinets here, you make it into one with the hinges.
Yeah.
So you don't have that awkward space where you can't get anything in behind.
Yeah.
And then down below here, of course, the Lazy Susan.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And then what other fun things do I have here for you?
I like the microwave. Can you remind me who made the microwave hood?
So all of our appliances are Whirlpool from Post Appliances on Main Street here.
Okay.
And I loved the Whirlpool line because they have the skinny microwave.
Yes.
So it's a hood range and a microwave in one, but it's the super sleek, more modern. Yeah. This is the first time I've had a microwave in 20 years. So,
and that looks really good for condos and for small spaces too, where you just need. It looks sleek. Like I didn't even imagine that was a microwave. It just looks so like nice and fine and sleek. So that's a good find. I like that.
Thanks. Oh, you know what else I love? I love the granite sinks.
And it looks extra deep too. Is it really deep?
No, it's not too deep. One thing that you want to be mindful of when you're choosing a sink is you don't want it to be so deep that you're always having to bend over to do your dishes. So usually around like 8 to 10 inches is a good depth.
Well, dishes is husband work anyways, so.
Lord, what the thing that I love about these granite sinks is they don't scratch.
Oh, good to know.
And also you don't have to worry about like having so many different mixed metals. If you have you want to do the brass, then you can do the black, and then that's
actually a really good point, because I was looking at mine and I was looking at doing the bronze faucet, but then the stainless sink, and I'm just not feeling good about the combination of that. So that's a good point. If you're like,
you can get these sinks in like 6 or 7 different colors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wonder if the white would stain. I'm gonna have to look into that, because white would look good if it like matched your counter, and then it looks like it's part of the quartz, but it's not. It would look really good.
We're about to install one in a client's this week, so I'll let you know.
Let us know. We'll have updates.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm dying to see. Does everything look as good as it did yesterday?
So things around here, no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm like designing the dining room, designing the kitchen, whatever, is going to keep evolving for a long, long time after. So I did add a lot to my little centerpiece today. And my daughter's home, so we're picking out like, which table setting do you want for your birthday tomorrow? So we're like going through the little table settings. It was so fun putting them all together. But I feel like
I feel like I need to formally introduce you to all of our fans.
Hi, Mimi's fans.
Aw, so Alison is a really good friend of mine. She's an amazing kitchen designer. She's everything kitchen. She's kitchen design, kitchen apparel,
kitchen like goodies, kitchenwares.
You share all your amazing recipes on your website. So if I'm sure people can find it through your link, but definitely worth keeping up with you, because you have so many awesome ideas for the kitchen.
And we're gonna start adding some of your cocktail recipes in there too, I feel.
Yeah.
We didn't see your like jewel little cocktail room this round, but it's like that's your like creative happy space, right? This is like Now, the whole kitchen I find really creative. So yes, kitchens and stuff. But I met you, Mimi, because I was more in architecture and you're in interior design. So we were kind of like in those little bits of crossroads for a while. And we met a whole crew of people back in the day. But I kept you. I kept you in the crew. And you do home staging as well. Do you find home staging also is like that really creative kind of gets all your juices flowing kind of thing?
The nice thing about home staging is you can make transformation in a day. And, you know, we're helping people almost instantaneously making their home look better. So whether we're using their own things and just moving and rearranging, or we're bringing in a whole entire house full of furniture in a day and setting it all up. So, yeah. You get your creative juices by layering your dining room table. Give us some tips.
Yeah. Well, I think a big thing for me right now. Okay, here we go. A little jarring there. So in the new cabinets here, with all the glass, now I can see everything. So well, when I want to get creative, I can be looking at things and things are handy in the drawers over there. And so now I have it all really accessible. And so it's a lot easier to be creative, right? And then this wall too, with the stuff that I use all the time, it's easy to just grab stuff and go and pull and just be creative in the moment when you have all that stuff. And
I know, but look at you.
Like all
you're a designer. How do
table.
Other people make their glass shelves look as good as yours?
Well, I did put in my little pulse here now. Warren just put them up for me the other day. I did put also my wallpaper in the back.
Oh, that's such a good idea.
So when we were putting the cabinets together, because these ones are just IKEA, I put the light gray herbal kind of, it's like food related. It's got forks and spoons and some herbs and stuff on it. So I put that wallpaper in the back of all my cabinets. So it's a nice backdrop to all my dish collections, right?
I love how you have those little dish stands too. Like, why not?
I know it's going to topple. Somebody's going to come in here, grab something from behind, and something's going to go flying. But for now, like, it's so nice to be able to see everything.
Yeah, it's like a store in there.
It actually is. Don't tell hubby. But then when I want to feel creative and inspired, I can see it all, right? It's accessible. Whereas before it was all enclosed drawers, and I don't even remember what all I had back then. Now,
so how many different place settings do you have to show us today?
Oh, okay, that meant total a lot. These ones I just did because I was looking at like Christmas ones. So I just got these from an antique store. These bigger ones down here. So I was wanting to maybe use those at Christmas, even though there's only like 5 or 6 of us. It'd still be special. Some of the rest I just got at like antique markets, and this is from IKEA. This is just from Salvation Army, the dishes, the glasses. So it just depends like what we're serving, what kind of mood we're in. You start with one thing, like we're having soup, so I have a few bowls to choose from, and then I go from there, and it just depends. And then I've been working on my holiday centerpiece. Can we see it?
So I have
work on this with all the food bits.
All the dried oranges, right? Oh, yeah.
It's popular this year. I mean, I use blood oranges often in my cooking anyhow, but I've never dried them. But it was super easy to do, and they're pretty.
We dried a bunch, and then we had them at just at our little at the studio, and we put them in our cocktails, so they're decor and
and good for cocktails. This is so we talked before about like the difference between open shelves and ones that are closed. I'm actually not a huge open shelf fan, but for stuff I grab every day, like we use these bowls every day. I use these glasses every day. These, I think I just got it. I don't even know. They're plastic. I think I got them at Target or something. We use them all the time. So for stuff I'm grabbing, I don't like to have to fuss with all the drawers and everything. I like to just grab it. Or just stuff that I think is pretty and I just want to look at it, like my new little brass pieces.
So nice.
Or copper.
And your stickers on the wall?
Yeah. It's a blend of like stickers, and we've got some fake like IKEA plants in here that are just I bring these out for all kinds of stuff because they look decent, but they're just cute. And then a couple real plants that I haven't killed yet.
So let's see the rest of your table, because I want everyone to see those layering trays that you have. They're so amazing for making like just dimension on your table.
I love these are just acrylic cut mats, so they're laser cut acrylic mats. And even if I have the tablecloth on, I think they still look good. Like sometimes I put the white on white on a white tablecloth, but what I like is you can put your cutlery down and it doesn't get your whole tablecloth filthy dirty.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a table protector.
What about the the trays?
The food trays. I use these for everything. Like I really do. They've come in so handy. And we haven't told anybody yet, but we're having little matching bowls made for the new year. So these are actually coming out in the new year, hopefully. And I use the food trays for like literally they come out all the time. They're so good for layering. They come in the 2 nesting sizes, so it's like really good for table settings, which I do a lot of table settings.
I love the lights in there too.
Yeah, they're cute. The nice thing about finally having a counter here, even though this isn't my real counter yet, it's still coming, is that now the food can go here and I can decorate the table, and I can leave the table decorated all the time because my food can just go on the side and we can easily reach it.
Oh, that's so great.
Whereas before the table wasn't big enough to like have a huge centerpiece and have like all your other stuff. I'm gonna put my phone back here. And you couldn't do both.
Buffets are kind of not cool, right? Or are they okay?
I think they're okay. I think anything useful, if it's useful, it's cool to me. I like stuff that has purpose.
Like serve yourself dinner buffet. That's how my family always did it.
We've had to do that a lot in like with the kitchen island. It's just often the kitchen island's so like if I'm doing a big cook, it's a mess in there. Like I don't want anybody in there. Don't come in there. So it's easier if we just put dishes on the side now here. If we just put dishes on the side here and whoever's sitting closest can just grab it, it's easier. But I still get the whole like centerpiece going on the table. So this centerpiece that I put down, it's just going to stay there for a month. So I didn't put a tablecloth down on purpose because then I don't have to I have to take it apart every time I have to take the tablecloth off. So now the centerpiece could just live here for a month and then we'll move on.
So please tell us what are you going to be making for dinner? What's going to be on your news feed for us to follow, looking like recipes and Christmas yummy stuff?
On Christmas, I don't even think I've decided what to cook for Christmas yet, because normally it used to be Nana's roast beef and Yorkshire puddings every single year, but Nana just passed like before last Christmas. So my sister and I took over, and I can't even remember what we made. I think we made duck for a change or something like that. I don't know. My biggest cook of the year is actually New Year's Eve. But usually we have a couple guests, and I will spend 3 days solid cooking for New Year's Eve. Like that's our biggest meal of the year, and it gets pretty fancy. But this year, I mean, it might just be the 4 of us here. It might be, that's it. So we'll see if I feel like cooking for 3 days for 4 people.
I know. I
might. I might do it. So I did want to ask you too, where you get most of your inspiration when you're designing. Like, do you have like a hot inspiration tip? Do you read a lot of magazines? Do you do Instagrams?
So I'm always being inspired by so many different things, and travel was always a big one. And I was super inspired by all the amazing tile in Portugal last year. And I think that's probably where this idea kind of came from. Yeah. And not that I want to go into like bathroom talk, but
we can skip into it. There we go.
This is where I was totally inspired with this tile.
Oh, that's cute.
Like just be a little bit more adventurous.
Yeah.
And one of the feelings that I wanted to have in our cocktail room here was like Havana kind of tropical feeling, and that's when led into the bathroom. that like vintagey Havana, like tropical feel. And
Yeah.
I feel like I'm kind of bringing a little bit of that in here as well. I've never been to Havana, so that's just how my imagination works. I've never been
It's on
to
my list.
before.
It's on my very long list.
But we're inspired by our clients, and everyone
Hmm.
has a vision. So if we are staging a home, then we're inspired by the character of the home and the people who would more than likely be looking at the home. So we kind of cater a little bit towards that. And then if we're helping people in their home, we're completely inspired by their visions, their feelings of what they want to have in their space, the functionality they need, how they live with their families and friends, how they entertain. So as I'm learning all of this about our clients, a vision starts to build in my head. And it's
Yeah.
actually a really cool process for me too, because it's actually hard to work with people who have no vision for themselves. Don't you
Yeah,
find?
I think so as well, because it's just too hard to like, it's such a blank slate and it's too blank, and you want just one or two little things to kind of start riffing off of. And even if it's like, if you're home staging and they have a sofa that they're just in love with, and it just sets the tone for everything else, like you just need that one little spark of something to
Yeah.
get you going, which is why I think it'd be so hard to do something really meaningful in like a whole condo building. You don't know any of these people, they don't even know what they're getting. It's very disconnected for me. But yeah, just having somebody that you can riff off a little bit, just one thing that they love. Do you have a
Yeah.
preference between interior design and staging? Are you allowed to say professionally if you have a preference?
I thrive off connection. So when I have an awesome connection with a client, I would take that over staging any day.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a team right now that is super passionate about staging. So I'm really lucky to have that, and they are really happy to do that. But I love furniture. So it's I come in for the ones that I feel super inspired to do, and we get really really creative, and sometimes we have really big staging projects with a strong vision from either our clients or our realtors, and so that's where I kind of jump in. But the design side definitely gets me going. How
Well, and
about
you
you?
have a really fun team too. I like your team.
Thank you. That's so awesome. What is your like biggest win for a recipe, or one of, I love all your vlogs. I don't think you've started to share them yet, but little snippets of them.
Little snippets of things starting to go up. The website's still just kind of forming, but it's been a lot of fun to work on. The nice thing about now having kind of a professional level website is I feel like I have a home base, and now I have a place to like set my tone and start getting creative from there. So it's kind of like having that one thing that you can hang on to. And I know I have this like little home base. So it's been good. I think that when I'm cooking, I have my go-tos all the time. Like I always have a jar of garlic confit that I've made that week. I always have a whole thing of lemons. I use a lot of citrus, a lot of lemons. My thyme seems to survive all year long outside. I go through a ton of thyme. And parsley, I don't know how it survives the winter, but even in the snow, the only thing in the whole garden, it's like blanketed in snow, except there's one bunch of parsley that just like sprigs up every time. So those the quick and easy things that I can grab out of the garden are definite go-tos as well. But I'm a protein person. Like I still love a good piece of protein, and I just get these cravings for a well-cooked steak. And you go to a restaurant, and after you've made it a few times, it's not that hard to learn how to make a really good steak. Restaurants just start letting you down after a while, so you have to eat at home more,
Do you
which
have
works
a
out this year.
recipe on your website for tips on how to cook steak?
I will do at some point. I mean, I learned it from cooking school myself. I took a number of classes at Northwest down in Maine, and 10th, 11th in Maine. So I've taken a couple, 2 or 3 classes now down at Northwest, which I've really enjoyed. And now I'm doing the lifetime program at this cooking school in the south of France.
Wow,
Um,
fancy.
McKenna was one of my first Instagram lives, so she's on my Instagram page there
Okay.
somewhere. And she's an American that went to the south of France. She bought Julie Child's old holiday home and turned it into a cooking school.
No way.
COVID hit, so they couldn't have as many guests. So she started this entire online curriculum, and now there's like a Michelin restaurant like sous chef that's joining the team and going to start cooking out her teach all these classes. So it's going to be an entire like culinary curriculum. I just find the more time I spend in the kitchen, the more I realize that I just don't know anything yet. I have
Oh, wow.
so much to learn.
We're all in so much trouble then.
Well,
Wow.
well, it's piece by piece. I mean, it's same as like learning anything from the ground up, I guess. You start out and you're just like, wow, I didn't realize how much I don't really know about this.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a whole lot more fun than doing like messy Board of Variance permits with city halls.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
No longer really my favorite thing.
All this talk about steak, what is like, can you just give us a tip on how to cook the best steak ever?
Pan fry. Hot sear pan fry and lots of butter.
Butter?
Delicious. We turn it down a bit, so you want a really high sear. Get some either protein fat or a rice bran oil or something that doesn't burn, has a high smoke point. Get your sear on the outside as fast as you can, and then lower your temperature and just start like putting the butter in the sauce and whisking it into the steak. And it's perfect every time. Every time. And you start to, if you do your middle finger, that's a medium rare steak. That's what it should feel like when you poke it.
Oh.
So this is a bit.
That's weird.
This is tougher. This is really tough. This is well done. This is a bit blue, but your middle finger, that's what it should feel like when you have a good medium rare steak. So you just keep cooking them.
I want to be a vegan, Al.
You're just going to have to cook a lot of steaks and figure it out. No, I don't think I could be a vegan, but we do eat mostly like a protein with a lot of vegetables. So we do incorporate a lot of vegetables in there. What do you guys like to cook?
Throwing the steak on the barbecue till it lights on fire is the wrong way to cook steak. That's what
I mean, trial and error.
And then
what do you guys like to cook? What's your go-to recipe?
Well, since the beginning of March, I've been cooking a lot, but I have been definitely being more adventurous with vegetarian and vegan. But of course, I do like a good steak too, for sure.
Or like a well-cooked duck with raspberry sauce and chocolate shavings.
Oh my gosh, that mushroom soup that you made us. Oh, I dream about that. It was a cauliflower mushroom, and yep. I'll never forget it.
That one mushroom was like a $25 mushroom. It was insane. I just kept thinking I better not screw this up. That was one expensive mushroom.
Your name at Granville Island.
Well, a lot of, yeah.
So we're almost at a half an hour, so maybe we should carry on our conversation on FaceTime.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at mimibrooks.com and also on Instagram, of course, Mimi Brooks, and we're also Mimi Brooks Design. And you can find us in Railtown. That's where our head office is. And if it was a normal Christmas right now, I would be inviting every single person on Instagram Live, which is one person. But
come and go.
Yeah, but everyone who comes on here, I would have invited you. But this year, you can find me virtually for a cocktail anytime. Call me up. Yay. How can everyone find you?
They can find me on my new little home base, AlisonHomeKitchen.com.
Amazing website.
Or my Instagram.
Well,
it was so nice talking to you. Thank you so much for doing round 2 of this with me. And I'm going to press all the right buttons this time. It was when I took my phone off the stand, so it just went black. It just
don't worry about it. I do this with you every day.
Thank you so much, Mimi. Good to chat with you.
Bye, everyone.
Ciao.
Thanks for joining.